My name's Dylan, and today I'm working on a tune on the circuit tracks. I've got some drums going already and they sound like this. So what I want to do next is find like a synth chord sound so I can make my first part over those drums. So I'm going to select synth track 1 and I'm going to go into preset mode so that I can browse the different sounds in the circuit. In this mode all the different sounds are presented on the grid, and when I press them I get a preview of the sound. That one there's quite cool. I want to be able to manipulate this sound so that it's quite short and plucky. So each sound has the macro knobs mapped in different ways. They'll always match what the label says on the hardware, but they might do different things for each preset. So let's see how short this sound can go. No, that's more of a swelling sound. There's one up here that I quite like, I think. So that sound can go from a really short pluck to quite a long chord. I think I'll use that one. Okay, so I want to make an 8-bar phrase for that pattern. I'm going to go into pattern mode. I'm going to hold the first pattern in that synth track, page down and select the last one. Now it's going to chain all 8 patterns together and give me an 8-bar phrase. So I'll go back into note mode on that synth track. I'll put it in extended note mode where I get a bigger range of notes that I can play, and I'll find a good octave to play in. It's a bit high. Kind of sounds in the ballpark. Let's roll it down and play our first part. Okay, so that sound doesn't sound great. If I tweak that sound a little bit, I'm going to get the part that I want. So I'm going to go into effects mode. I'm going to add some delay to that synth part, and I'll add some reverb as well. Let's see what that sounds like. Yeah, that's more like what I want. So I've adjusted some parameters there. I've changed the filter cutoff and the amplitude envelope, and also introduced a little bit of filter envelope modulation. So now what I want to do is find a bass sound to go with those chords. I'm going to choose synth track 2 like that, and we'll go into preset mode and find a sound. There's some quite cool bass sounds there, but I like the way that one I was using can be controlled, so I think I might even use the same one. We'll go into note mode like that, choose the right octave. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Now this button here extends a pattern from 16 steps to 32. If I push that, you'll see it changes color, and now that one pattern that I'm using is going to be 2 bars long. So I'm going to record a 2-bar pattern for the bass. Let's go. Yeah, nice. So next, in order to make everything fit together a bit better, I'm just going to sidechain that first synth chord sound from the kick drum there, just to give the bass line some space to move around. And I will sidechain the bass from the snare like that, and then we'll go back to synth 2 and have a listen to our pattern. So you can hear by manipulating the filter I can really make that phrase talk. A nice trick here that I'll show you is to go back to patterns mode, hit duplicate, and duplicate that simple bass pattern across all 4 of the first patterns and then chain them together. So it's going to play the same notes, but what I can do with that is then automate the synth parameters over 8 bars, because I've got my 2-bar pattern playing 4 times. So we'll hit record. Choice. So now I've got a longer sort of musical phrase, even though it's just playing that same sequence over and over again. You can extend this concept as well by automating controls in the mixer. I'm going to choose effects mode. And what I'm going to do is for the second track here, I'm going to automate both the delay and the reverb sends so that when the filter opens, there's a little splash of brightness that comes through. Let's hit record and try automating that. Yeah, so you can hear that by repeating a simple musical pattern, but then creating a longer phrase of automation over the top, you can make quite a moving part with a very simple musical sequence. I hope that's a useful thing for you in your own music making. Thanks for listening.